Uh, yeah, yeah, uh.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of River City 93. We are live, so if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment, interact with the show. Leave your feelings here. But I want to start this show by saying soccer is toxic, and why are we playing this sport? Because it hurts, Matt. It hurts.
It happens. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to take good. You take the bad out of it because we're talking about 2 games today. Basically, I think the moral of the story is don't go up 2-0 at halftime. Yeah, because that ain't been working out for nobody.
No, it hasn't. And in the last two games, we've been on both sides of that equation.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah. For those who don't know, today we're going to talk about the Greenville game, and we're also going to talk about the game that just happened. Richmond's kicking the teeth loss to 3-2. I mean 3-2 to NCFC. And if you're wondering why I might sound kind of rantish tonight, is because we're doing this right after the game. So I'm not in a good mood right now.
All rational all the time tonight, right?
We'll try to be. We're trying to be. So Matt, where do we get started at? Do you want to start kind of talking about the Greenville game first? I'm assuming, and then we'll work.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Maybe give you a little time to come down from that nonsense we just watched.
Possibly, but now with the way how this Greenville game started, I mean, what was it? Inside of 4 minutes, we were already down a goal because of
3 minutes. There's 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yeah, already down a man. I mean, already down a goal because the wall had a gap in it. Like it seemed
no.
like it seemed like it. Did I?
No, it was a good shot. It was, love Olney. We're going to talk about good things with him, but him and the rest of this defense. If there's one thing they love to do that just pisses me off to no end, it's commit fouls. Within like 2 or 3 yards of the penalty area.
Yeah.
This isn't new. I'm sure I whined about this last year, on here too. Like they're just like, all right, cool. Let's just bring them down, let's hack them down. Not a penalty, no big deal. It's like, nah, you don't need to do that because eventually you're going to get burned on it, and that's what happened in the Greenville game.
Yeah, it did. It surely did.
I thought it was maybe a little soft. It was probably a foul, but I thought it was a little bit soft, which will lead into another point coming up momentarily. But stop doing that. Even today there were 2 or 3 of those where it's like you didn't need to foul him there. Didn't need to do that right now. You're just begging for somebody to put us on a highlight reel, and Coutinho did on what day was that? Saturday.
Yeah, exactly did. So you're already down 1-0 there, and I got a point that I want to bring on you, Matt, but we'll talk about that later. But the team's already down 1-0, and then what was it? I think. Well, when did it score again? Like 17 minutes? 20 minutes? It was early on. I felt like.
Hold on, I got it pulled up. They didn't score till the 27th.
Okay, so yeah, get it right to the 27th minute, and already up to this point, it kind of felt like we were getting ourselves back into the game slowly. But 27th minute is a corner kick. Brandon Freaky gets his head onto it, and
no, he didn't.
He scored. Was it Freaky?
He kicked the ball into the goal, dude.
Oh, kicked it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm trying to do this game off memory. My fault. He definitely did kick it. I apologize.
Yeah, because that was the one where it's garden variety corner kick. Akira goes up for it, doesn't bring it down, but also
my head, he missed it.
But also Tevin Shaw, came in elbows flying, cleared Ani out, and which I think it clipped Akira a little bit, like Ani did. on his way backwards. So look, Greenville, has absolute homer, announcers, right? We can all acknowledge and admit that, like, even, uh, Ross Davenport, on Twitter was like, yeah, I'm a Greenville fan, blah, blah, blah. And he calls all all their games,
Yeah.
right? Even they were like, oh, well, that might have been a foul, I don't, that's as close to, them saying like, oh, well, yeah, that shouldn't have counted. They'll never say that out loud. But you can read between the lines on that kind of stuff, where they're like, might have gotten away with one there a little bit.
As a ref, why aren't you picking that up? My fault. You're talking about. I do remember how this go happen. I blocked that out of my memory. But as the ref, why don't you, call that? Like you get all. I'm assuming from where the ref was standing at, and he sees the contact through Ani. Did he think that it was just him and Akira that hit each other, and not the Greenville player? Or
No idea. And I mean, in general, I think keepers maybe get a little too much, rope on these, sort of things. Where if you breathe on them, it's called a foul. But I think it probably did actually affect, Akira's ability to bring the ball down. I'm not 100% sure that it did, because we saw one tonight too, where maybe if he was like 6'1" or 6'2", he brings it down, nice and clean. But what can you do? And then Fricky keeps scoring the biggest luck box goals against us consistently over the years.
there's another player that's debating my existence. Him and
Yeah, I
Rafa.
mean, this is a MFer who scored on us. Might have been when he was still at Lansing, when he cleared the ball and just hits him in the face and goes right back in.
Oh, I do remember that one. Oh, that was pain.
Yeah, so, but the point with the ref there too, he rewinded a little bit. 14th, 15th minute.
Mhm.
What does Emmy have to do to actually get a call in this league? Yeah,
Oh,
because he's back there, in the box, and I don't remember if it was Fricky or Evan Lee or somebody else seemed to run through the back of him, as he was chasing the ball down. I don't think he would have got there before the keeper anyway, but that's never been the point.
yeah.
Like, what's this
I
man
don't
got to
know.
do to get himself a call somewhere on the field?
Possibly die. Like that's the only way I can see. If we would have to take like the Nigel DeYoung like kick to the chest to possibly get a penalty kick. I don't know what else he has to do. I really don't.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, you look at literally every other sport ever, the star player gets the call, the benefit of the doubt constantly, right?
Art doesn't. Art doesn't get those calls. I don't know why. I mean, Emmy does has a tendency to kind of flop here and there, but the stuff is obvious as that. You got to call that. You know.
Yeah, so fun stuff. So, like I said, I don't mind that calling the foul in the second minute that led to the goal.
Mhm.
Call the other ones too, then.
Right. Right. Most definitely. Definitely to call those. But anything else from the first half that brings, we're already down 2-0 at this point. Anything else from the first half that kind of you can
Uh,
think of?
not much. I mean, right before halftime, Emmy did get the ball in the net. He was offside, but it was nice to see him kind of scissor one in,
Yeah.
anyway. So hopefully that'll get him going.
Yeah, I think if I go back and remember, I think my biggest takeaway from the first half was we looked very slow on the ball. And this is also where Chandler O'Dwyer is starting out on the wing, um, starting out on the right wing. And let me ask you this: what did you think of that experiment with him out there on the wing? It just seemed like he created more problems than what Darren was trying to solve.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been that they were wearing my favorite jersey that I'm representing right here, right now. Uh, because you can see just as much on my T-shirt as you can on those jerseys, which appreciated all the announcers actually starting to call us out on to peer pressure might eventually work. Also let's keep it up with this. I can't remember a thing that he did in that first half.
I can't either. I,
That's not good.
I can't think of anything.
Like literally anything.
I don't. I want to take a moment and just think of this. I don't know what Darren was trying to do with him out there in the wing because we've never seen him play on the wing. Like you got Luke on the bench, you got who Bentley, you got other players that can be serviceable out there on the wing. Why Dwyer?
And the only thing I can think of is he knew we had 3 games in a week coming up, and he's trying to mix match and manage minutes. That's all I can come up with.
Okay. Going on to the second half, kickers came out a little bit more kind of the same. Still kind of stagnant. It wasn't until, to me, I think the changing point is when he brings Bentley on for Chizagi. And it just seemed like the whole complexity of the game changed. It also
we scored well before that.
Well, no, I'm saying like that's why I felt like it changed. I know we scored before that. God, how did we score again? Now I'm trying to think back. Oh
When,
God, it's too late.
Simon and Belmar worked their way.
Oh, that's right.
Isuko up the side, and then Ani, was right there, playing central, attacking defender, and just roofed it from 10 yards out.
There we go. Bingo. That's what happened. Yeah. So
really cut him up pretty good, on that build up.
He did. Belmar, like watching tonight's game and watching that game on Greenville, do you feel like we kind of profiled him wrong? Like his profile isn't what we thought it was, seeing him now play now? Because we were building him up to be kind of just like the replacement of Jonathan Bolaños. But he seems to play the total opposite of that, where he's perfectly fine, like dropping back deeper and deeper and kind of being like a playmaker winger.
Yeah, I mean he's not a stretch the field winger like Johnny was. Yeah. So I think we need to delete that option out of our minds.
Yeah, seeing him the past few games, I'm kind of like, all right, that's not his thing anymore.
Yeah, it's just different. Like I think he's probably a much better passer than Bolaños usually was.
Yeah.
He's probably better in hold up play, but he's not going to 30-year-old Carlton Belmar is not going to absolutely turn on the burners like 21-year-old Carlton Belmar did back when he was at VCU.
Yeah. It just seemed I don't know, the profile of it. I think you're right. The profile of it has changed. And I think didn't we see that same connection tonight on one of the goals? Belmar.
A lot of the same guys. Yeah. On Zhao's second goal tonight, you saw. I mean, Ani wasn't involved in that one, but you saw certainly Belmar and Fish kind of carve up that side and make it pretty easy for Zhao to get that second.
Also, another thing that I forgot, going back to the first half, Dakota got hurt.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, not fun at all. At first, I thought it was a knee injury. I'm not gonna lie to you because definitely on turf, and we've seen definitely, especially on the women's side, a lot of players tearing their ACLs. So that was my first concern. But hearing from Dakota, it seemed just to be like a hamstring. So even though it's bad, it's not as bad as what we initially feared. So that's good.
Well, I mean, hamstrings can be very fickle, though. So I mean, any kind of muscle injury like that, can be. It might not, initially take as long to come back from, but it's probably a lot more likely to be recurring.
Yeah.
So, it could be that he's back by Saturday. It could be that he's gone for a month. And it's hard to really be able to say.
Yeah, it is. So it comes to his place is Chris Cole stepping in as center back. I think he did a pretty decent job. Like, for what he played, the 16-ish minutes that he played. But I don't remember his name being called. And as a center back, if your name's not being called, that kind of means you're doing a good job, right?
Or at the very least, not a bad job.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, so I forgot that point, but I want to bring that up. So 2-1 at that point, and it kind of felt like subs happened, game changed, and throughout the second half, it kind of felt like Greenville kind of secluded more and more and more into their shell. Like there were moments for them where they could have took advantage of it, but they kind of was just like, okay, well,
Yeah, they were happy to try to set up shop and protect that 2-1.
yeah,
Sounds familiar.
yeah, sounds very familiar. God, I'm trying to be positive.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about a positive note. The moment you've been waiting 5 years for.
Oh yes. And the guy's jersey who I have on right now, Mr. Luke Pavone scores his first goal in 60 appearances. Mind you, this man played a full season. Granted, it was COVID, so we're not going to count that against him. But he played that entire season as forward and did not score. And now playing he has played what? He's played what? Striker, left back, full back, left wing, right wing. Did he play center back one game?
I don't think he's ever played there. He's played outside back. He's probably played everywhere in the midfield.
Yeah.
Probably everywhere up top.
So
Kind of
he's
just a do it all utility guy.
yeah. For real, that's really what he is. And I'm so happy for him because he scored. It's a very Luke-esque goal, a very scrappy goal, but Matthew Bentley, man.
How is that a Luke-esque goal? We don't know what a Luke-esque goal was.
Well, it's okay. It has the profile of being Luke-esque. I'm just saying, it's the most improbable goal that you would score, and Luke scored it. So that's why it's a Luke-esque goal. I got branded for Luke Pavone. Like I could go places with this. I just need to score like 2 more goals so we can have a good pitch to people. Luke Pavone will be your top scorer. But okay, that's aside the point.
I think I cut out there for a second.
Yeah, so my fault. Back on point. Matthew Bentley made a good run, fought hard for the ball. I really did like a lot of his runs that he was making in his game. Like he seemed to be dropping back, willing to drop back, willing to sit in between the center backs. Like his movement was really good in his game, and it was good to see what he seemed like he's that number 9 that we've always talked about. Like he was like a 9 playing a winger spot, and we saw a lot of the good qualities in him in this Greenville game.
Yeah, and that goal with a little bit of extra luck or a little bit of extra English on that could have been his because that was a nice little kind of back heel flick that just trickled across goal and caught the inside of the post. Thankfully, Luke was there to clean it up and just pass it home from 2 yards out from there. But yeah, I mean, I think we've all kind of suspected that he's making do with what time he has out on the wing, but his natural instinct is probably more of a center forward.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know if he technically got an assist for that, but I'm happy giving him an assist for that.
I don't know. That's something I would look up to. But yeah, I'm fine giving him an assist to that. And it kind of felt like the rest of the game, it kind of felt like Richmond had their opportunities and chances, but at the end it kind of just flamed out to a 0-0. I mean, not a 0-0, 2-2 draw. My fault.
Yeah, and end of the day, if you look at it, on the big picture side of things, 2 trips to Greenville, 4 points out of that, you take that every day of every week.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, get out of there with 2 points. I mean, with the 4 points that we've had, and keep it pushing. Now, it kind of feel like Richmond's now at this point turned it up. We come to this game Wednesday, and man, it feels, I don't know, it feels like the complete opposite. Like, if you take the halves of the Greenville game and just switch them, kind of felt like what this game was.
Not too dissimilar, right? So I think you can't start talking about this game without talking about the lineup adjustments that had to be made. So you made reference already to Dakota still out, so Cole filled in there. I don't think any of us were surprised about that.
No.
Neil still out, and every game that he's out and not even on the bench makes me wonder a little bit more of how injured he really is. Because how many weeks now have we heard? Oh, he's almost ready. He's almost ready.
It was the home game against Junior Omaha that he got hurt. So he's missed DC. He's missed what else? Tormenta. trying to think who else. Oh, Greenville. Yeah, he's missed 4 games, right?
It's been more than a little bit now.
Yeah.
So it's starting to get a little worried about how long he's really going to be out.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
fair.
I think the biggest surprise, Emmy not even in the 18 today.
Yeah, so me and Gabe were talking about this in the chat. I was just leaning more to like, oh, he just got dropped for the game, just because he's just going through a bad spurt. Or Gabe just thought, like, is it injury? Is it something else? And obviously, we don't know anything, so we're just speculating. But
I mean, I could get there for put him on the bench.
Mhm.
It's not there at all. Like it's not like this is the hard road trip to make. This is the bus trip game,
Yeah,
right? So what's going on there? I mean, hopefully we see him on Saturday and it's just a full on rest day and Darren made a calculated risk on it. But it might have been nice to have him to throw out there the last 15 minutes. Once we realized we needed him again tonight.
yeah. Or I mean, like, it could be a thing where they saw the Greenville result, they saw what they like from Matt Bentley, and that 30, 35 minutes worth of play, and was like, all right, Emmy's not doing so well. Let's leave him in Richmond. Like you said, like a calculated risk. That's a positive way how you can think about it. And I mean, that's
Well,
put Matt
yeah,
Bentley.
I can get there on thinking about it that way. But if that was the case, I would put him on the bench in case
Gotcha.
Bentley gets hurt or you're chasing a goal or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, we'll see on
Yeah.
Saturday. Saturday is going to be a day where it can be very stress inducing because if I don't see Neil on that team sheet, man, I agree with you. I think the injury is worse than what we think it is. And if it's another game where Emmy's not on the lineup, or I mean, in the lineup, or even there, it really raises some concern.
Yeah. This team is building a little bit of depth, but you take out 3, starters, and probably if you had asked before the season started who are if you had to rank like the 10 presumed field starters, so leave Akira out of it, how would you rate them? At worst, those are 3 of the top 4. I think we would have said.
Yeah,
Like
I
maybe you sub Zaka in, and Ani's been outperforming all expectations this year, so he helps to not make Dakota's loss hurt quite as much.
yeah, that is very true. Yeah, you're right. Like they would probably be the top 3 out of the 5 for that. And right now,
So,
those 3 key parts are out.
mhm. But I mean, the first half, the guys made it work,
Yeah,
right? Like
they did.
Bentley was up front. You had Luke playing on the left wing, which was a little surprising to me that you moved Belmar over to the right. But it seemed to pay off, the way things happened, because not much happened for a lot of the first half until that goal came.
Yeah,
It kind of came out of nowhere, really, if you think about it.
yeah. No, it really the game really started off where it seemed like everything was just stuck in the midfield, and neither team was really taking their chances. And then the goal comes because of our pressing from the forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't
Um,
even remember how North Carolina got the ball there. I think it was probably just a straight pass.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think they were
or
trying to
anything
clear
else.
it out, and he
Yeah,
just got
the ball ends up not even that deep in the corner, probably like 20, 25 yards from goal. But Luke and Bentley are kind of converging on what I think it was Benton back there,
Mhm.
and they're able to just get it poked loose.
Yeah.
Zhao's there to pick it up. He takes a couple touches and then sends what at least looked to me at first like big old moon ball out there. I thought it was just like, all right, well, that's a shot. Uh, but no, finds its way in.
Yeah, no, it did. It even had a nice move to get to the ball because I think he did like a 360, like a spin. Then was like, oh snap, I'll take a shot. And I mean, for him, it's good to see that kind of shot go in for him, because this is a guy that came from NCFC Fusion, and we put him on our radar after how they played against us in the US Open Cup last year, which was a tight and really contested good game. And you can see I would say he had moments throughout the season, the start of the season, where you're like, all right, I like this performance from him, or he's doing this well, but also you kind of saw like he's still kind of green behind the eyes.
Mhm.
But I mean, this is a wonderful took shot, and
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about NCFC in that spot because I think they had the same goal scored against him again for the pink team.
pretty close. I know he gets a lot of hype. Nick Holliday's still a 17-year-old goalkeeper. Like, yeah, he's still got room to grow. Like he might be good later on, but he's still a 17-year-old goalkeeper. There's a reason you don't really, see 17-year-old keepers playing many places at all.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
good for us.
Yeah, good for us, and it works. He get chipped there twice, and I mean, building off in the middle of the Greenville game, and it kind of felt like all right, Rich was out to a good start, and then a little bit later, we're out to a better even start because John makes it 2-0 with a nice cutback from your boy, Mr. Simon Finch, who had a good assist.
Yeah, we kind of made reference to this already, but him and Belmar just cut up, that the left side of that North Carolina defense and made it really easy for Jow just to slot it home into the corner,
Yeah,
and felt like everything was going pretty good on Easy Street at that point. And looking back, probably even should have mirrored that Tormenta game even more, because yes, he was called offside for it. I don't think he was really offside, but Bentley probably should have got the ball in the net right before halftime too.
yeah,
But
yeah. It does feel that way. I mean, and for Belmore, how good he was in that first half, I'm a little frustrated with him sometimes just because of some of the decision making. Like I felt like what was it? There was another moment in the first half. I'm trying to remember precisely, but I think Belmar, like if he plays the ball quicker, like I think it's Bentley who's running in right in between on the right hand side, is in on goal. Like I just feel like sometimes like the decision making, and granted, this is one of the things I want to ask you about. The decision making sometimes in the team, I don't know where it's at. It is really frustrating.
and I think a lot of them still are always looking for that extra pass,
Yeah.
right? I think they're maybe to a fault a little unselfish, like unless it's really really the right shot, like minus Zhao's goal, today of course because that was a little bit aspirational and it paid off, but I don't know. I don't think I'm as maybe down's not the right word. I guess your word is frustrated
Yeah.
with Carlton. I think again it's getting used to what style of play he's going to provide.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just not with him. Like the frustrating is just with him because going into the second half, I don't know. Like, well, not that I don't know. It's the frustration of like the decision making in this team. Like, NCFC coming in the second half was going to go for it because they made two subs. They brought on what Servinia and Olex.
Olex.
I know. I don't know what it is about our foreign players that decides like, yo, I'm going to turn into like ball on door mode and start scoring goals and get an assist.
Yeah. So, but even before that happens, should have gotten a third goal in that first 10 or 11 minutes of the second
Oh
half.
yeah, so many times. Like, I mean, the most noticeable one is Justice Suko's shot that I don't understand how you missed that or not even getting close on frame. But yeah, there's a couple of other ones like they were slightly offsides. Like Bentley had maybe two. Luke
Yeah, I
had
think Luke
one.
Luke got called for offside once, where I'll trust that it was right, but at least the angle that we had
Yeah, it doesn't
looked
look
good.
like
But I mean, it was just feeling like, all right, those chances are going to still be there. Keep on them, and one of them, we're going to time right and be in.
Well, and you know the thing was the reason why those chances came is because we took our time on the ball. Like we took our time, and now granted, not the final ball because some of those got cut out, but when we took our time on the ball, we were able to cut through NCFC because they were pressing up so high. Because at that point, they really got 5 forwards on the field against our back four, and it's kind of just
Yeah,
like, that's all they're doing.
yeah, and Zhao and Zaka and Suko, that first 15 minutes of the second half are still doing a really good job of just picking off pass after pass.
Yeah,
Filling the lanes really well, and that's what led to some of those breakouts.
yeah. It,
You I saw some stat earlier today that you the kickers are low on the list of actual shots taken, but like second or third in conversion rate. Which doesn't sound too dissimilar than from some other years.
yeah,
I feel like even last year we didn't have the gaudy stats of number of shots taken, but especially Emmy, was just if he got a shot, he was hitting at such a high clip.
yeah. It was
You know,
clinical. Nobody was
right?
missing
So
at that point.
that's not what was happening, in the second half. So yeah, didn't think that it was going to lead to no points, but you always kind of wonder, like, all right, is that going to come back to bite you? Especially, like you said, especially the Suko one, where I mean, at least on that first angle on TV, it looks like it was easier to make it than to miss it.
Yeah. I don't know. The Zuko one really bothered me a lot because if you put that chance away, man, it's 3-0 at that
That's
point.
game over.
Yeah, it's done. And it's just the way how he missed it. It's not that he missed it, it's the way how he missed it because it was like just lack of concentration. Like, I don't know. It just feels like he just ran up to the ball and just automatically assumed that he was going to score instead of just making sure that he scored. And maybe I'm
Yeah,
being nitpicky, but I don't know. It just
yeah.
feels
I mean, this is the downside of us doing this right now instead
yeah,
of a day later, where we've had time to come down from it, but b watch it back a few times to make sure we actually know what we're talking about.
right, right. And that's where
So
you're the voice of reason, Matt. That's why I appreciate you. I love doing the
yeah,
show.
so but yeah, right now looks bad.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah,
Uh,
good. Um,
Also, speaking of looking bad, let's go ahead and get to that first goal.
yeah,
So I think we've established that, hey, we are Luke Pavone fan club on here.
yeah,
Did a great job, him and I guess it was Hornsby and maybe it was Zhao, coming together to take the ball off of. Not even sure if it was Perez or Rafa, who it was. Doesn't even matter who it was.
no,
They take it off him. Luke gets the ball, and I don't know what he's doing there. After that, he tries to hit the ball low and hard right across the top of the box, and hits one of our own guys. You know, falls right to Olex's feet. Dead center of the field, 15 yards from goal, and we know he can shoot the ball. Where he gets into trouble is when he has to, you know, have the ball at his feet and run with it. We
yeah,
saw that happen. Even 5 minutes in the second half. He got the ball like 6 yards from goal and dribbled it straight out of bounds. It's like, there's the classic Olex play we've come to love so much. But no, instead he gets a look and just absolute pings it off the post.
yeah. And this particular play was so frustrating just because you kind of saw it kept building up and building up because I think on the other side, right before they scored, like we were having trouble getting the ball out, and it was like we started to play. I don't know if you want to call it cute, but it felt like we were playing conservative while trying to build out the back. I don't know why. It was just getting it out at that point.
Yeah, I mean, just kick the ball long, reset it,
Yeah, just do
right,
that.
or just kick it out for a throw. Even who cares?
Do you think in a moment like that, like if Dakota's on the field, like that happens, and that happened on the field, is us trying to, I guess, do the most?
I don't know if it's on that one.
Uh,
I do wonder if maybe on a couple of the other goals, if Dakota's out there, if things go a little different.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Um, Second goal. This is where I tap the sign of like, don't give, don't give Raw for chances. in front of the box because oh god, second goal. I bet you want to describe it. I'm not trying to go on another rant.
Yeah. So it was Rafa that had the first shot because I literally couldn't pick it out or remember at
Yeah.
that point. Uh, but the ball's picking around the box a little bit against another one where it's not getting cleared, not getting taken care of, and eventually falls to Rafa and he rips low one from 20 yards out or so. Okay, Kier's able to make the save. It's a save he should make. It's not like it was a over the top, amazing, great save or anything, right?
Mhm.
Like if he didn't make that save, I think we all would have been really pissed at him, for letting that in. But he left a tasty rebound out there, and Louis Perez got there first by a long shot. Uh, I'd have to go back and see it to see if Hornsby or anyone else would actually realistically have a chance to get there or not. But what I also really want to go back and see is on that Perez shot. Did it go through Akira or how did that find its way back in? Because I couldn't totally tell.
You talking about the point where the ball like bounces off to his left, like he kind of like comes in and bounces off. I
Yeah,
thought he
so
just handled it like
Perez is because the first time in real time I thought it was just a simple base tap in. That first replay I saw though was like that managed to like go under or through Akira somehow. So
yeah.
that part I'm not as bothered with because I mean it's in essence a tap in from 6 yards out. The first one, there was like you would hope that with that save, you might be able to get into a slightly more safe position.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of felt like at 2-1, it kind of felt like all right, Richmond's like, all right, we got hit, but we can sustain this and we can control the game. We can ride this out 2-1, right? 2-2. I don't know about you, Matt, but it kind of felt like at that point, like, all right, this is not going to end well for us.
Felt like time to hold on. And that's what Darren started to play into too. Because he brings on Meacham, he brings on Olsen, he takes off Bentley and someone else I can't remember who at that point.
Luke, I feel like.
Maybe
I think he took out Luke.
or maybe Luke came out earlier when Gordon came in. Either way,
Yeah,
uh, or he might have taken out Suko at that point. Actually, now that I think about it.
there you go.
So those are not subs that are telling me that we're looking for a winner.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like all right, let's hold on. And at that point, NCFC had all the momentum. They're paying like this. I don't know. You call it like a 5-3, a 5-2-3. Like they were just pretty much. They had what Rafa, McLaughlin, Olex,
Perez,
Perez, and
Sereni's a midfielder,
yeah,
but I mean they're pushing guys into the midfield, and we could not get on the ball at all at
no.
that point.
And
And like that this first 10-15 minutes when Zaka and Zhao and Yusuko were picking passes off, they were just getting passed around like traffic cones.
yeah,
The last half hour of the game, I don't think it's 100% on them, but it was not a good look on them either. Because NCFC was just getting space anywhere they wanted,
mm-hmm.
and that's kind of the name of the game on the last goal. Just lots of wide open space.
Yeah. No, it just. I mean, you brought it up. Like, it just felt
Yeah,
like the midfield got stretched and it didn't know how
yeah.
to control and contain anything at that
All right,
point.
you want to do the honors walking us through that last goal?
I don't know if I want to because I think I tossed my phone halfway through it. Um, God, how did that last goal happen? Only thing I know is that McLaughlin got onto it, but it just seemed like our whole midfield got. I mean, not midfield. The back line got caught up and was trying to solve problems that
The
were
ball was out on the wing,
yeah.
trying to look to see if can't find real quick who had the assist there, but I mean it's just
I think it's
couple
Rafa. I
minutes,
think it's
a
Rafa
couple,
again.
yeah, maybe. I mean,
Let's see.
who cares who it was? Could have been Perez, could have been Rafa.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a difference. Had all the time in the world out wide on the right, and this is literally a minute after those defensive subs came in, uh, and you're getting tons of space. Okay, that's one thing. If you're giving all the space out there, if you're giving all the space out there, you can't let Garrett McLaughlin, be wide open like nobody, within like a extended NFL halo rule around him. And yeah, he's had a rough start to the year, but you give him that much space in the middle of the field, the ball landing right on his head, you get what's coming to you, and he was able to head it straight into the side netting.
Yeah. Once again, is this another goal where if Dakota's there, like this doesn't happen?
Hard to say definitively, but I, I like my chances better if he's in there.
So do I. Um, I want to ask you this question, Matt. Like, we can see it through the fans and through the TV as fans, but on the field, is it hard to tell like who is the leader right now in these moments? Because something would tell you like, yo, we got to put our foot on the ball and slow this game down. And it seemed like instead of slowing it down, it seemed like Richmond, like a 2-1 and a 2-2, was trying to quicken the game up and keep going and going and going and going and going, and the game's getting stretched. And that's what NCFC wants, is for you to get stretched so they can get in behind and they can create chaos. And it seemed like we were just falling into that, and nobody was like, "Yo, slow down."
Yeah, I think there's a few leaders back there. I mean, obviously, Akira's literally a coach on the field, but even among the field players, like it's not just because he had the armband on, but I think Ani's really developed into a leader on this team. Kind of a vocal guy. I think, but after him, I think Zach is probably the only other one that you might look at as a leader in some way. Like, yeah, there's some other veteran guys out there, but I don't know if they're just that type of personality.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on them. Like some people are and some people aren't. And likewise, you wouldn't want a team full of the all leaders, because I think that's a powder keg as well. But being down a couple of other guys who might really have that kind of natural leadership trait,
yeah.
it's not great. Not great.
Yeah, no. And I mean, back to your original point, is these the moments where like you miss Emmy because he gets those ticky tack fouls that, like I said, slows down the game. Like it's 2-1. We all know how famous play goes. They get the ball to Emmy. If he gets a little bit too close to the defenders to the point where he get fouled, you slow the game down.
Yeah.
It felt like we were kind of missing those moments. But kind of individual blunders at each moment led to this.
I don't know if first one, unfortunately, yes. Second one, debatable. I don't know if there's an individual blunder on the third one. I think it's more of just team defending gone a little bit wrong. Like I think it's hard to pinpoint any one person doing something wrong on that. And sometimes it's just a good goal that you give up, and that might be a little bit more on that end of the spectrum.
Right. So instead of, because if we would have won this game, we would have had a great chance of walking out of that Lexington game, top of the table. What was it?
Yeah. What is at best what has technically been second because of the tiebreakers being wins, but would have been second coming out of tonight. We're not now, but we're a quarter of the way through the season. I don't think there's a reason to panic, and one of the big reasons I don't think there's a reason to panic is let's look at what our schedule has been so far.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, this is a good point. Yes.
Yeah. So look at let's look at it from the table perspective. So first place, North Carolina SC, played them away. Second place, Charlotte, played them twice, home and away. Right. So we've taken 2 losses, but they're the teams currently first and second. Now, I don't think Charlotte's going to stay in second. Not the point right now. Third place, Tormenta, played them away. Right. Okay, there's Knoxville. Haven't played them yet. Greenville played them twice away already. Yeah, the only teams. Yeah, that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our 8 games are against teams that are currently tied or ahead of us in the table because we're technically 7th place right now. So it's pretty much even split between who's above and below. The only teams below us that we played are Omaha and Hailstorm. They have games ahead. They'll probably go by us momentarily, but we haven't gotten that soft part of the schedule. Yes, Knoxville's up in 4th right now. In my mind, they're still a bottom tier team right now because look who they've actually beaten. It's mostly been the bottom teams. Saturday's going to be important. We're getting one of those teams finally. We're getting Lexington. The schedule's going to open up a little bit here. Coming up because we get Lexington, we got Tormenta again, but then we get a Chattanooga. We start getting Fuego. Coming into the schedule. We get some Knoxville, some Chattanooga coming through. So place where it's time to start putting wins on the board, starting really stack some points. Are coming because it could be a little bit better right now through 8 games, but it's not disastrous by any means. I don't think because it's been a relatively tough schedule so far.
Yeah, it has been a tough start to schedule, but the only part that I have real concern on is just like the concentration in the good moments. I mean, not the good moments, in the important moments. Like just, and also like we talked about it earlier. Like we're kind of going through a injury crisis right now at this point because you're missing Dakota, you're missing Dale. We don't know what's going on. I mean, we're speculating there, but you miss them. And honestly, if you think about it, we haven't had our full starting 11 in a while because Akira missed time. Now Neil, now Dakota, and Emmy. Like we're kind of miss. We haven't had a full starting 11 since maybe week 1.
Yeah. Oh, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, not saying that's an excuse or anything because we still should be able to, finish our game, like at least bring a point home from a game like this. Not use that as an excuse, but if you want to look at it that way, that's one way you can look at it. But Matt, if you're Darren, like, what is your talking point to the team at like this moment after this kind of loss, and how did you play out?
Got to recover, time to come home and show what this team can really do. Against a team that you expect to get 3 points off of. It's another home game. I also think it's imperative that this team starts actually scoring goals at home because we've loved the attendances so far. But usually people come back when they're more exciting games, and a bunch of 0-0s maybe aren't the most exciting.
No, they're not. Yeah, so definitely, like you said, it's a Lexington team that they can win. They just had a big upset win over Charlotte. Now Charlotte's kind of going through a rough patch right now, but still, like you said, Matt, they're second in the table. So a big win over them recently, and a penalty save in the 97th minute, I think, in their last game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming on the road against us, and we're a team that's right now kind of maybe knocked on the canvas a little bit, and it's going to be important to see how they respond on Saturday against Lexington.
Yeah.
They're also going to be down their center back as well. Fox got a red card, so he's out, right?
Yeah. So can't hurt.
Yeah. Any chance you think Causey starts?
Probably not now after their other keeper gets player of the week, saving a stoppage time penalty.
Yeah, probably not. Who knows? Maybe if he did play, he would have had like a world class performance against us because that's how our former player plays against us, apparently. Anything else from you, Matt, before we close out the show? That I feel like I got my brain out for the most part.
No, I mean we're holding off on the rankings just that way we can actually look back at some of the highlights from especially tonight's game and try to give credit where credit's due. So we'll put that out, on Twitter in case for all the people who are just dying to know.
dying to know. But
Also, since Schneer aren't here, got to make sure they're balanced. Have 3 scores per game.
yeah, that's how we do it. We try to keep it fair and balanced on the show. But for me, there's
No, we don't use that phrasing.
Touche. But for me, there is nothing else. Fans, it's okay to be frustrated because I feel that way. But there's brighter days ahead, better days to come.
Look, I feel like it was right. I don't remember the exact day, but it was right around this time last year. We went down to North Carolina, took an L. A little frustrating time, right then. I think we were very similar record at this point. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it might have been like 2 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws.
Yeah.
So maybe a little ahead of where we were this time last year, with everything. But yeah, if you believe in patterns, you believe in stuff like that. You know what happened next?
Yeah, we went off. I think everything started clicking after that. Also, I think there's. I mean, talk about last year. I think there's right around the same time when Jonathan came back, right?
Yeah.
More or less. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So yeah, have that. We do have one comment that was on the YouTube channel, so I'm gonna share it with you real quick. We can discuss it. This is Alex. He does USL League One up there. He pretty much says we don't have a very deep bench compared to a lot of teams in League One. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we knew that coming in, and this is one of the tough things for me to kind of square my brain with, because in general, I'm always about people going getting their money, getting paid, people deserving fair wages, protections, all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not great for your sports teams though.
No,
all the time, especially when you're one with a limited budget on things, because you had to tighten things up a little bit more. Maybe you pay a little bit more to special, not necessarily the top guys, but the middle to back half of the roster, and that cuts down on the quality depth that you can be able to sign. Then so it's you have to make calculated risks. A lot of the other teams in the league have guys with dumb money, that dumb League One money that they can throw around. We're not at that point, so I think Darren, Mika and Connor, and all of them have done so what looks to be a good job of kind of putting the priority pieces into place. You can't predict injury. Well, mostly you can't predict injuries. So just hope that things stay together and work out. And again, not that bad, right now overall. Like, yeah, I would rather be in North Carolina's position, all things being equal. But let's not forget, North Carolina's. I don't know if they were first early in the year last year or something, but
they
they were up there for a while, and then
June, and then they fell off.
They fell off a cliff.
Yeah, they did.
So I see the NCFC Twitter admin just crowing all over the place, like you're oddly quiet for last I don't know 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll all have that moment in the sun, and ours will come in better moments, much better. This is all building up to us winning the league. I feel like it. Like, we're gonna go back and look back at the show and be like, what were we complaining about? Well, enjoying the league title, champagne.
Yeah, and look, there's still nothing I've seen in this team that if we get into a 1-game playoff at any point, that I'm going to be scared of any one individual matchup. Because, and this sounds ridiculous coming off a game where we just shipped 3 goals. I would trust us to grind a 0-0 out if we wanted to.
That would be the entire complexity of this team. Like, as soon as we get into playoffs, it's like we've become unstoppable. And God, I hate this villain arc. I hate this story arc.
But yeah, to go back to the comment, it's the pros and cons of collective bargaining agreements and labor laws in sports.
Pretty much. If you want to see better players, you got to invest a lot of money in this team, apparently. Because Darren keeps begging me to be a sponsor. And I'm like, sir, I'm a teacher. I don't get paid that much. Yeah. Maybe you can sponsor the team, man.
Oh, me also with my education salary.
Maybe we put it together. We can get one player. You get one.
Probably wouldn't be one that we want.
No, no, not at all.
Get your boy Calvo back.
Oh God.
You just took an unnecessary cheap shot at him, this week online too.
That's when I put it on my personal. I didn't put it on the River City 93 way. Because I was like, this is my comment and I stand by this.
Unnecessary cheap shots at the man.
I feel like if you ever sees these, he's gonna be like, why? Why do you keep coming? I was like, you wasted a whole season. That's just my biggest gripe. That's it. I get that he was a center back playing fullback, all this other stuff. That man contributed nothing offensively. And that was wild to me when I looked at it at the end of the year. Because I just swore he had something. He didn't. Okay, I'll keep trying to wrap the show up. As always, listeners, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to our show. Because without you, we couldn't do this. For Matt and myself, we will holler at you guys soon. Be easy.